everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and making some really good trades. And let's dive right into the analysis here. And again, following up on my analysis, excuse me, from yesterday, it looks like it is starting to play out a little bit here as we start to dip towards the downside. Excuse me, my goodness. I said that I thought that we might be getting this higher B wave here and then a lower extension in the C leg, and this is probably what's starting to play out over the weekend as well. We're probably going to see maybe a dip down to these levels. But what I want to say is that if we do take out these pivot lows, we will most likely enter the larger buy area for a deeper retrace here. So this is what I want to warn people who are getting very long on the signals that I've been providing over here, right? I did say, I am getting in longs, and we did get in longs, and we had huge gains. We posted like a 75% gain here, or 85% profit on this trade that we took from the lows. And then we exited and at the highs, and now the price is starting to roll over. And I'm not seeing any significant buying right now on the 4 hour. So, this is what I said, and this is what I did, right? I took the trade opportunity. Taking a look at the daily, we had, a lot of bearishness come out recently from these candles. We had a 22 -5 on the dual band strength index, 23 and a -5, now a 24 and a -5 on the dual band strength index. So it just looks like the bearishness is increasing and increasing, and the pressure is just getting put on and on and on and on and on. Really, it really does look like we are going to get a sell-off at any moment, excuse me, and it's going to drive us to below 60K and back down to the 57s or whatnot, right? So that's a real possibility. This can definitely play out that way, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did. So just please be careful when you're making your crypto trades out there. Make sure to use stop losses if you are getting in shorts or longs, because the price can definitely react in a negative way right now. And I don't want you guys to get liquidated or anything like that, right? So if you're making trades, be safe out there. Make sure you use stop losses, and yeah. But let's move on. Let's take a look at our count. So this is basically it. I don't think anything has changed from yesterday. I think the count is pretty similar. If this is a wave 2, then the lowest point that we should go should be right in between this range here. Let me see if I actually drew this accurately. I don't know if I got the bottom wick here. And then from the highs, right? And then you bring it back down. Yeah, so actually it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So I don't know if I saved it yesterday, but yeah, this is the target between 60,900 as low as I would say the pivots. I would say essentially these pivots. You go below these pivots, you invalidate the bullish scenario. And right now, there's not much bullishness to be had, right? Lots of bearishness in this market, and I don't think anyone is hoping that Bitcoin breaks down. But if it does, then we will be prepared, and I'll be looking for a long lower. I don't see any entry for any shorts right now, unless you're doing like a macro short and you're hoping that we do really get a meltdown in Bitcoin. Then in that case, I guess you can enter your short now, right, and ride it down. Some of these cryptos are already at their lows, and I see some support coming in, but although they are continuing to sell off here, so let's be careful. Let me do some more analysis on what I wanted to talk about is the long-term cycles as well. So we just got our halving recently, right? And if you guys have been watching my videos in the past, I will cover this chart every now and then. And this is a chart that I create to better illustrate how the halving works in terms of price reaction and stuff. So usually when we have a halving, I would say 60 to 90 days after the halving, we start to see upside coming in Bitcoin, right? So the first halving right here, 84 days or 90 days right after, we saw the pump start, and it, didn't really let up until, it got a significant high, and you got to retrace. And then same thing for the retrace, right? These bear markets, these really big sell-offs, they tend to happen when you cross back into red money flow, and it lasts about 60 days. Right? 60 days, 63 days. Do I have this one here? 84 days. So when you cross into red money flow, that's when you're about to get a big sell-off on the weekly time frame. Yeah, and same thing here. During the 2020 halving, Bitcoin had a tremendous rally 63 days after, right? You got a big rally from 8,000 all the way to 12,000. You know, in hindsight, it doesn't seem that much, but this was a 30% pump in Bitcoin. Then we saw a bit of a retrace, came back down, and then the rally continued. Now we're getting a bit of a scenario where the Bitcoin price has already rallied pretty significantly, sort of like the 2015 scenario where we rallied up into the halving, and then we got a sell-off, right? So this sell-off that happened after the halving was about let's just see. Well, I guess we could measure from this high here, or if you want to go, you can go from this high. But let's see. So from this high, we got a 32% drop, and from the peak, I guess before the halving, we got a 30 to 40% drop. So if if we're starting to mimic the halving, price action, you made a higher high here, then if we're gonna get that kind of a drop, or at least something similar, a 20% drop brings you down to the 58,000 level, 30% brings you down to 50,000, and 40% brings you all the way back down to the 43 to 40, 40, the low $40,000 level range. So almost a 50% retrace. But I don't even know if we'll get that low. It could happen, but right now, if Bitcoin doesn't hold up and it starts to drop, you could have a big waterfall sell off back down to the 50s, right? To the low 50s. This is where my range is right now for this wave 4. Anywhere lower, we have to mark this as complete. This was just a crash correction that we got here. A wave 4 was here, and then this was a 5. This was just chop, and then we're in a larger cycle retrace here, and the 2 is already happening. But I don't know. We'll know more once we see Bitcoin, dumping more or pumping more. We'll know. We'll know if we break these levels. If we break these levels, this is all bets are off. We are going lower. If we take out these pivots, in my opinion, we are going to go much lower for Bitcoin, right? But looking at 4-hour, RSI is getting almost a little bit oversold here. I'd like to dip into this area. I don't know if we're gonna, I don't know if we can, but this is my target for now. And if I'm looking for a long, and if I'm going to enter, it's going to be in this area right here, right? Pretty close to the lows. And this is pretty indicative of wave 2. Wave 2 is usually they can pull back pretty darn deep. So this is not too surprising here. Right now looks like you got 3 waves. If you bounce up and you make a 5th wave lower, that's it. I'd call it I call it done, and we're gonna be in trouble, guys. Excuse me. All right. Anyways, that is about it. I don't have anything else to update you guys with tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will let you guys know when I see more significant buying from the bulls and smart money. If I see this starting to happen at these levels, I'll be probably looking for longs and probably adding to some positions, right? And hopefully it does do that, and we can get a nice long opportunity for Bitcoin to continue to rally higher. All right. Anyways, have a wonderful weekend, guys. Don't stress over the Bitcoin price. Enjoy your weekend, relax, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.